The second flight for today is a mapping mission in the orchard. Uh, my desires here for this were to get really low with the camera and see how much detail and stuff I can get in the ground and the trees by flying much lower. Instead of 160 feet, this will be at 30. I do have a destination set to take me to this corner at 40 feet, and then there's this mapping mission, simple mission, altitude of 30. And that's basically all there is to it. Don't know what else to say about it. 9-minute and 17-second mission, 1,800 feet traveled, take 217 photos at 40 feet. The mission's actually at 30. Some of that doesn't really must do its thing based on this destination. The map mission's actually at 30. If we come in here real quick, again, I'm not going to show a lot of these in the future. Once you've seen it 2 or 3 times, you've seen it forever. You can see all the photographs it's going to take. These little purplish lines. It's going to only take one battery. Altitude's 40 feet, dropping down to 30. We can see it's not going to move horizontally until we we get to altitude. That's fine. I'm going to try to come back in here a different way real quick. This is the main point of my doing this one, is because, as you will see here, speed this up a little. It runs out there to get to the corner. Now it's going to start its mission. And as you can see here, as this map on the right here tilts down to start doing the orchard, I'll slow it back down. You can see at this zoom level, Google Earth map is kind of terrible. Not very good resolution at all. So that's why I want my pictures, to see what my pictures do as far as clarity at this level. So let's see what happens with that. We'll shut this down. That's all we need for this. I went out and flew the mission. Again, kind of got my camera on my cell phone involved as the flight controller for this, so I can't take videos. I'm going to take out another little camera. But the mission failed. No crashes. But it was just flying along in the mission, and the platform stopped. It kept taking a picture every 2 seconds. I have no idea why yet. It was fairly disappointing. I have looked back on some of the video I have, and it seems like the mission froze up because the mission time wasn't going up anymore, but the rest of the application worked. The video coming in was real time and changed right up until the platform stopped dead in 3D space. It didn't fall out of the sky, anything like that, so I'm quite pleased by that. But it did just stop and kept taking pictures. Now, all this camera is being set up by clicking on that map mission and going in and telling it what platform. I go in and I tell it I'm using a Mavic Mini. It then knows the focal length of the camera, the physical size of the video sensor in the camera. It knows what altitude it's going to be flying at. I noticed it set taking photos every 2 seconds. Now I'm not sure how this works as far as the program's concerned. I'm starting to get a little bit of an idea as I run more and more of these missions and see all this in action and just build up some experience. From what I can ascertain at this point, when it flies a mission, it goes and starts moving horizontally, and it basically at that time sets up a camera capture based on a certain time period. I imagine that is calculated based on what the platform will be moving, what its height is above the ground, and what the camera is seeing below it based on its focal length. And it seems like this software just like sends a command to the drone to fly from point A to point B, and then along that way it's taken pictures at a 2-second interval for that duration of that movement from A to B. So what I saw was that movement stopped in this corner, the top right corner where all those photos are backed up on top of each other right now, not the upper left. There's some there that are kind of funky, but and there's a couple down through one of the legs that are a little funky, but it's that upper right is where the platform physically stopped. I'll have to go back and see if that was supposed to be the end of the mission in the Dronelink. Maybe it just got to the end of the mission and just continued to take photos every 2 seconds. Nah, if it finished the mission, well, no, actually the mission showed on my screen as not building any time anymore. So I'm going to have to look at all of this for a while to figure out what went on. I am a little suspicious of my screen capture program on my cell phone that captures the screen that I see while I'm flying. Might be interfering with the Dronelink app or something else. I'm not sure at all. So what I'm going to do right now is, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to kind of show you how I'm building up the data to take a look at what went on. So right now we'll proceed on to me uploading the photos to drone deploy. A few thoughts that I have developed already is these funky things with photos right here that I was seeing. That's where the platform hung up right here and quit moving, but continued to take a picture every 2 seconds. I brought it back to me to terminate the flight manually, just with the joysticks, and that's what it took pictures on its way back. This is where I was standing for the launch, so it took pictures on the way back. Right there, that caused that funky, elsewise this would have been a good row of pictures. This one right here also I think was caused by that same thing, and now that the velocity was higher, this one over here I think was caused by the same thing. And then all of these that are overlaid on themselves right here I think were simply the fact that as I brought it back to this position and brought it down, it was continuing to take a photograph every 2 seconds. I tried to stop that on the screen. It wouldn't stop. It stopped when I turned it off. That's all I could really do with it. So a little more thoughts about what may and may not have happened. I'm uploading the pictures to drone deploy to see what kind of map I got. It does show, I'm not sure if this is where it hung up and just started taking pictures, but there are some other little problems in here. This is only the second time I've done this in all of life, so I can't make any statements about what's going on. It's just do it, process it, see what happens. I know the flight hung up. I'm not quite sure why yet. The drone deploy map came back. The map itself looks fair. I think I was really trying to do all the way out to here. I did see some things. If you look at the photos, you can really see, if we zoom in here, my suspicion that all of these extra photos, this one, and this one, seem to be in a line from where that drone stalled back to here, but it didn't seem to cause any great problems. If anything, I guess they were just stitched into that area as more resolution. Here, the same thing. But again, the flight didn't finish this leg. I will try it again. I didn't try it again today. The flight didn't finish this leg. In general, I think this worked. Plant health. The grass looks good. The trees don't. I don't even know what that graph is or how it's set up. Elevation. That's kind of the way that is. This is the top of the hill right here. It slopes this way and this way, so we'll say that that is correct. Terrain only, yeah. Again, this is the top of the hill here. I stood at the top of the hill, and it slopes this way and this way. Map details, of course, this is drastically different from the Google Maps, so it's overlaid well. There were 270 images in that, and there were only supposed to be 217, so there was a bunch of extra ones taken over here and here, more than the flight said there should be. So I think overall, here's the 3D model. That ain't going to be much on this. Doesn't show the trees because it's taken straight down. So I wouldn't know what else to say about this. It's not a mission that I would have sold this data to anyone with, so we'll see here. Looking at some of the actual pictures that were taken. This is a single picture. Oops. Let me get back to that. And that's the standard view. So if we zoom in on that picture, there's some pretty good resolution. It does beat Google Earth. I dare say I could find a Coke can if you hit it in that orchard, and I overflew it. If you didn't hide it underneath vegetation, etc. So the pictures themselves, they're good, the ones that were taken, and the overall stitched together I thought was pretty good. There's some of these trees looking bad shape. There's me. next to the landing pad. Decent resolution. That's nice. So the pictures themselves that it took were good. There were more pictures taken. Just something happened. I'm not sure what. It's 400% zoom. That's pretty good resolution. So the little camera's doing fairly well. Just the platform. I'm still personally thinking it's a conflict between the screen recorder and the other software. I'll fly it again without the screen recorder on, and then I'll try to find a different screen recorder and see if that makes any difference. I'm going to attach the raw video from my cell phone capture program, screen capture program here. It's kind of funky too. I didn't use that screen recorder much. When the drone is doing its thing for sounds, the application sounds, like the click of the shutter, my voice in the background is lowered. When the drone isn't taking pictures, my voice is at a higher level. I'm going to have to figure out how I do this screen recorder. But seeing there was no flight data from the platform itself, this is the only flight data I really have to look at for what may have gone wrong, where the count timer on the missions froze, etc., etc. So I'm just going to attach it without a comment, because I'm just going to post this as it is and say the heck with this flight, and things may be better in the future. We'll just see what happens. So at this point, I'll just thank you very much. Okay. What's that say? 9-minute flight. Okay, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Starting mission.
That vertical ascent's still kind of fast. And it's going to its entry point on the mission is sort of fast too. I think it got there. But it's not taking pictures. There we go. It's actually working. And this is what I hear when this is on. And it's working its way towards me at a slow pace. I have to make sure it stays out of the trees behind me. Wait. It made its turn without getting in the trees, making its turn to go back. It should start taking pictures again. All right, I am confident. I also see I could have taken these pictures from a lower altitude, which means there's more pictures, the flight will be longer duration. I really would like to
try a mission that's so large that it's going to take more than one battery and see how it functions. Our plane and our copter will come back to get another battery, and then they will go back and pick up in the mapping mission where they left off and continue it. I suspect that that's the same thing that happened here. It's its way back. Wish I could see it. It's going to be something like 215 pictures. And it's a very small patch of ground. Instead of being at 160 feet, so this is at 30, which the focal length of the camera, etc., sensor size, means it's going to be a smaller area each picture takes of the ground. I hope it'll have more resolution. 160 feet. That's what this is to prove. This is a nice slow mapping mission, differently from the other one. I do not see the strangeness in the craters. The Mavic Mini just really isn't the drone to be doing stuff like this. The fact that it does it is great for prototyping, experimentation, but the Mavic Mini is just, you need a bigger, better drone, better camera perhaps. Yeah, camera is pretty good. The platform itself needs to be robust for a lot of these missions. Not to say this doesn't work, it does. But you might want to spend a little more than $400 for your mapping drone. I wished I had brought a camera and could actually take a picture of the drone as it's flying, but my camera nowadays is in my cell phone, and my cell phone is being used as a controller right now. It's making nice, smooth, slow turns for this, like that. I want to stress the platform. And we're halfway through. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. Making its turn on this. Come back and take more pictures. now the platform's sitting there stationary. It's not actually moving. But it's still taking multiple pictures. So something went wrong. I guess my map data won't be good. I guess they have a little program problem. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll have to try to figure this out after the fact. I don't have any time moving on this thing. I'm going to pause it. Attempt to pause it. Can't do that. I think my program fucked up. Yep, something happened, so I'm just going to bring it home manually. Okay, it seems to be coming down over me. I'm going to have to adjust it manually. Actually, it's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm not sure why that hung up. We'll have to do another one of those.